Hello everyone, welcome back. I want to talk to you guys about a training session that I did yesterday, and I actually already uploaded the video. I had a chance to review it a bunch of times, and day after assessment, I have a much better sense of some of the things that I did really well, some of the things I could have done better. I wanted to share that with you. So this is in this training session. What I did is I had the student, all right, kind of become the instructor in the sense that the student was going to tell me how to move through a shooting location and what targets to shoot at. Okay, so now this student was familiar with this location, so they had some general idea of the layout. Okay, although they weren't that familiar with it. So one of the things that I was really happy, and I wasn't even planning, I wasn't even doing it intentionally, it just worked out that way naturally, just because of my experiences while I was shooting. I was very conscious of where the student was before I was shooting. So basically I was doing a scan and assess before I shot. Okay, so normally when we think of scanning and assessing, we think of it as you're doing it after you shoot, to scan for additional threats. Okay, also to break tunnel vision. I've discussed that in other videos, but without even realizing it, in the post video analysis that I did, is I was instinctively using the scan and assess, same technique, same method of, same exact method, but I was using it to not so much see where the additional threats are, but to basically see where the friendlies were. Okay, so I was using the scan assess before I shot. So I don't think I've never heard that covered before. I've taken lots of gun training classes, and we talk about scan and assess after we shoot. I've never heard anybody talk about scanning and assessing before you shoot. And it just came naturally to me because I was with another person, right? And it wasn't like a two-dimensional range where we were standing on a flat line, we're shooting in one direction, where I knew where I was supposed to be, I knew where the targets were going to be, and I knew where the other person or the other people on the range were going to be. Okay, this is a 3D environment where I don't know where the targets are, I don't know what direction we're moving in, I don't know what targets we're shooting at. So in that type of environment, I needed to be aware of where the other person or other people are before I shoot. Okay, so that's the first thing I want you guys to look for in the video. Okay, so that I was very happy with myself. I wasn't planning to do it. It just again, I've done it before because I do this type of thing regularly, but I never really paid attention to myself, that I just naturally do a scan assess before I shoot on a 3D range. Okay, so that's the first thing that I think is worth looking at. Okay, the second thing that I was doing intentionally, because I have my students do it as we're moving. Basically, I don't draw the gun from the holster until I'm ready to shoot. So when the student was telling me to go to this tree or go to that tree or go to the other tree, I moved to that tree. I did my scan assess to see where the friendlies were. We did a pointing verification. So the student pointed to me where they wanted me to go to and what target they wanted me to shoot at, right? And the reason why we did the pointing, because here's the thing: if I'm standing like this and you tell me to shoot the target to my right is that way. But if I'm standing like this, target to my right is that way. And as we're moving around on a 3D range, at different times we're going to be slightly differently oriented, so we're going to have a different sense of where left, right, front, and back is. Okay, so the best way to know what direction you want to be moving in or what you want to look at is to point at it. Okay, and normally when I train people, I point past their shoulder so they can see my finger. Again, the student in some cases wasn't doing that, but that's why I was kind of like turning around to see where they were pointing at. I needed to know where I needed to be moving or where I needed to be shooting. Okay, so that's one of the things that we forget, that we can communicate with people, we can turn around, we can look at them. Our head, should be on a swivel. Basically, we should be looking 360 degrees. Okay, so these are one of the things that kind of become, that basically, I don't want to say obvious, but it's just a natural progression. Once you get onto a 3D range and you start working with other people, you're going to naturally become a lot more aware of what's behind you and communicating with the people behind you. Okay, so I was very happy with the way the communication developed. Him pointing targets, me verifying that, hey, that's the target you want me to look at, that's the target you want me to move to. Okay, now early on, what happened is the student initially told me to, he pointed to a tree way down, which was a good distance away, and I was not sure. You can see in the video that I'm going to post after this, you can see that I'm not that sure which tree he is pointing to, because kind of all trees look the same, right? Well, here's the thing, it's not just trees, because let's say you're in an area where let's say you're in a suburban area, right, and you're looking at houses with garages. Well, all the houses, they're all going to be houses with garages, right? Or if you're in a city and you're looking at the building with the windows in the doorway, they're all going to have windows and doorways. Okay, so lots of things kind of look the same. Now, obviously, we try to find something that stands out, but sometimes in certain areas that's not possible. Everything just kind of looks the same, right? All the buildings look the same, or all the trees look the same. So that's all the mailboxes look the same. So now one of the things that I was kind of not happy with myself watching with the video, at the point where the student was telling me, okay, go to that tree way down over there, okay? And I said to him, basically, we're trying to figure out which tree it is. And I told the student that, hey, you know what, that's a long walk. I'm going to have to go tree to tree to gain some cover. What I should have done, right, and I kind of knew better, but what I should have done is, even though the students say, hey, the tree way down over there, right, what I should have done is, because I told the student, hey, I'm going to go tree to tree, but as I moved to each tree, I should have verified, okay, so I'm moving to this tree, okay, we moved to that tree, now I'm moving to the next tree. So even though the other person, right, gave me a command that was not clear, I should be able to handle that situation better. And again, this is part of me also learning, right? We're always learning, right? So what I should have done, what I will do next time is, they gave me a general command to go to a specific tree. I wasn't sure which tree that was. And the way I should have took charge of that situation is, I did say, hey, I'm going to go tree to tree. But as we got closer, I should have verified, hey, that tree over there, is that the final destination? Or, that's what I should have done as we got closer and closer. Okay, so that's one of the things that I was not, basically the room for improvement. Okay, I looked at that and I said, hey, I spent way too much time trying to figure out which tree he was talking about, when I already had a sense of what general direction he wanted to move in, right? So I should have been happy with the fact that I had a general direction to move in. Okay, I established that I was going to move tree to tree in that direction. I should not have spent as much time trying to figure out exactly which tree he was talking about from distance. As I got closer, that's the point where I should have, when I got closer, that's when I should have tried to figure out exactly which tree he was talking about. So I should have basically just been satisfied with the fact that he told me to go in that general direction and started moving tree to tree in that general direction. And when I got closer, then we should have, at that point, I should have figured out, I would have been able to communicate with him and figure out what tree he was at. So that was a very important learning thing for me. Okay. Now, one of the things that I did do very well, and this is one of the things I'm very well practiced in, is at some point he told me to turn around and shoot at a target behind me. Right now, the way the range is set up is generally there's backstops at everything. So from the position that I was in, the target that he told me to shoot at, right? I mean, there was a backstop there, but the backstop from my position, the backstop wasn't properly positioned. So I needed to change my position, because say the backstop was like here, right? The target's here. I was here. Okay, so he told me to turn around and basically shoot at it in this direction. I didn't feel comfortable, you know, because again the backstop was like this. I didn't feel comfortable. Hey, if I missed, you know, maybe the bullets would have kept going that way. Even though that there's nothing in that direction, I still didn't feel comfortable with that. So what I told him is, hey, I need to change my position. So what I did is from here, I moved, I ran, right, and I positioned myself here, right, behind a tree, so then I could shoot directly into my backstop. So again, these are things that you start to think about once you get on a three-dimensional range and start interacting with people. And you know, one of the things is like, yes, it's great to do it with an instructor, right? But at some point, you also have to do it with just like other people, right? As long as you all have a good understanding of what the safety limitations are, right? You know, you have to do it with other people who, you know, have been on a 3D range but aren't trained instructors, right? Because now you're gonna interact with them in a way that you would interact, let's say, with your friends or with your family or with co-workers or with just other random people that you might run into. So that's one of the important things that I've been developing in a lot of the people that I train. All right, to be able to, like, if you're in a difficult situation, to be able to kind of take charge of the situation. And the reason why I say that is you got to take charge of the situation, because most likely the people that I train are going to be the most experienced and the most trained people, right? Unless there's happen to be people in that group that have, let's say, a police or military background. If it's just a group of, you know, civilians, right, who've never done any police or military service, most likely my trainees are going to be the most experienced people in that group. Okay, so they you know, if there's some craziness going on and if they are the most experienced person, they need to assert that. Now most likely the answer would be, hey, we're just gonna hunker down over here, take cover, and you know, because we don't know exactly what's going on out there. In most cases, that's probably going to be the right answer. Okay, the right answer to that problem. But in some cases, it might be, hey, this position is dangerous, right? We're out in the open. There's bullets flying around. We need to get to a better position of cover. So there might be some situations where you have to move, or there might be a situation, hey, our kids are over there. You know, we need to get to our kids because we don't know what's going on over there. You know, so that might be another situation, another reason why you might have to, why you can't just hunker down, why you need to leave your position to go somewhere else. Okay. Now, one of the other things that I discussed with this trainee, which it's something that's come up on a number of occasions, is you might have a whole bunch of other less experienced people, but they may not be willing to accept you or acknowledge or even know, right, or believe that you are the most trained person in the group. Okay, so that's where you kind of have to assess, okay, fine, you know, what are these? How are these people moving? What do they know? It's a good chance that you might quickly assess that if you're going to move, the safest place for you to be is in the back of the line, right? So because you don't want other people drawing guns and basically pointing them into your back as you're moving. Okay, so so that's just one of the things to be aware of, that if you can't gain control, if you're not able to assess that the other people are going to follow your instructions or work with you or believe in you, it's not just a question of protecting yourself from the threats, but you might also need to protect yourself from the incompetence of other people that might be around you. Okay, and that might mean, you know, staying behind cover or staying in the back of the line. Again, just things that we need to think about that become a lot more obvious and evident, you know, once you get on a three-dimensional range. So with that, I'm going to play the video, and I gave you a whole bunch of things to think about. Okay, and like I said, I pointed out the things I think I did very well. I pointed out the one thing that I think I definitely could have done better on, where again we were trying to figure out exactly where this person was asking me to go, and it wasn't clear, and I think I spent way too much time trying to figure out what he was saying rather than understanding that, hey, he gave me a general direction. Let's move closer to that position, and then when we get down there, then we can figure out exactly where he wants me to go. So enjoy the training video. I'll talk to you all soon. Got it? Okay, good. So the idea here is that even though I'm normally the instructor, right, as somebody that's been training with me for more than 2 years, in many cases, you're going to be the most experienced person. So you also need to be able to guide other people and communicate with them. And in many cases, this is something that you have to kind of develop on the spot, right? Because these aren't people that you're going to have ever met before, okay? So you have some idea of the layout of the shooting area. So you are going to now direct me and tell me where you want me to shoot, where you want me to move, and what you want me to shoot. So go ahead. You're in charge.
Get up to the tree over here.
Which one?
Right here on the right.
Here?
Yep. Keep going. No, one more. One more. Keep going. This
Which
tree.
one?
Which
That
one?
one?
Yep, right there. Now get to the tree right over there.
That big one right down there?
No, to the right.
This one right here?
Right here. No, right here. Right there.
This one here?
Nope, right there.
That one?
That one, yeah.
The big one over there?
Yeah, but
Right.
the first big one right here.
That's a long walk, so I'm going to have to go from tree to tree to get there.
Yep.
Okay. So I don't go that direction.
Okay.
Which way?
Take the shot at this small target over there.
Right, the small one?
Small one, yeah. 2 shots. Okay, good. Get behind this tree right here.
That one right there?
Yep. Target on your left over there. 1 shot.
1 shot there. Get behind me.
Good. 1 more target over there. 1 shot.
That one right there?
That one right there, yeah.
The red one, that looks like silhouette.
Good. Get behind the cover.
Which way?
Get to the tree over there.
That one right there?
Yep, right there. You're gonna hit the target over there, but
that one, okay,
yeah.
fine. Get behind me, and I'll find the best way to get that shot.
1 shot. Good.
I'm gonna do a tactical reload.
Yeah.
Okay, where are you?
Get clearance. Good. Get to the target over there when you shot.
Move to that location.
Move to that location, yeah. Okay, the target is in the front of you. Just be careful.
Okay.
Good. 1 more shot.
1 more.
Good. Keep moving. There'll be a target on your right. Be careful. Right in front of you. Keep moving. The far target.
Far target?
Far target. Good. There's threat coming behind us.
Behind you. Get behind me.
Keep going. You see the target all the way down there, the red target? All the way down. Over there. Right there. Yes, that's the one.
That one, okay.
Yeah.
I have to change my position to get to that target.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna reholster and I'm gonna move.
Okay, good. Good.
Go ahead, which way?
That's it.
That's it.